Let's go fishing. Starting off the day on the bank, casting out the Catfish rod when I get it set out into the channel. Gonna set that down beside me and get to casting with my other rods. Throwing out a broken bag minnow first. Wanted to see if I could pull something out of the edge of the grass over here, but had no luck, so I figured I'd throw the chatterbait in the same area. Figured it would turn something up since it was a windy and overcast day. Nothing there, so I switched over to my trusty lipless crankbait. I've caught plenty of fish on that in this area, and while I was casting that around, this happened. Felt like a nice sized catfish, but not big enough to pull any line from me. Kept on reeling and flipped it up on the bank. Wanted to get it unhooked and of course get a photo with it. Nice little channel catfish to break the skunk and get the day started. Not long after I casted that rod back out there and got a few casts on my other rods, had another catfish on here. Seemed a little bit bigger, but small enough to bank flip. Let's go, another catfish on the night crawlers. Since I had a couple fish, I figured I'd try a new lure, my other rod, trying to learn how to fish jerkbaits. But it wasn't long until the other rod went off and we had another catfish. Nice fight, but small enough to bank flip again. Another channel cat in the books. I was actually editing on my phone when this takedown happened. I noticed the rod flying towards the water and thankfully caught it before it went in. This fish was putting up a crazy fight. I had no clue what it was. Part of me was thinking I hooked into a giant catfish, but it wasn't until I got it closer to the bank that I figured out what it was. Right about here is when it started to pull some drag, so I knew I had to take my time and work this fish in towards the bank. This fish did not want to be bank flipped at all. As it got closer to the bank, it tried a few more runs, but I kept it really close. This is when I realized I hooked into my first carp ever. While not a huge carp, this is also when I realized they fight like crazy. Too big to bank flip, and I wasn't sure how I should handle the carp, to be quite honest, so I made sure to grab my net and pull it up. What a great fight and a beautiful fish. Swapped to my favorite spinnerbait for my other rod. Wanted to give it a try since I've caught many fish on it in this area, and it's worked plenty of times down in my hometown. No luck there, so I swapped to another spot in the same area, throwing out the chatterbait. Also got the Catfish rod set up just in case. Swapped over to my favorite lipless crankbait again, also known as a rattle trap. Tried it on the other side before moving to this side. Throwing it out there, letting it sink. Trying to bring it by the dock for some extra structure and see if it was holding anything. Which is moving it really close to the bottom, really slow since it's been cold in this area for a couple days. Going slow seems to work well in this area, especially since it's been cold. Trying to make something happen since I hadn't caught anything but catfish in about a week or so. And boom, we were on. Wasn't sure what it was until I got it close and realized it was a bass. And then as I flipped it up on the dock, I realized it was my first smallmouth. Super stoked on this. With no luck in that area again, wanted to cast over here by the trees and rocks and see if I could pull anything out of the structure. Now I fully expected to lose my lipless crankbait because this area is snag city 100%. But I guess something decided to bite. Wasn't sure again what this was until I got it closer and realized it was my first yellow perch. Another species to the list today.